Hey YouTubers, did something pretty cool today, so I wanted to show you something that I've been working on for quite some time. Tried some other, workarounds, doing hose hookups and, different things. Because what I'm trying to solve for here is how to flush your engine out without breaking your neck. Trying to get to the little hose connection point on the Yamaha. Obviously every motor is a little different. Yamaha's got the external connection point with a hose, pretty easy to get to. However, if you had a different engine that had a port on the back, you'd probably have to look at doing some retroing to make this work. But anyway, so here's the thing. Get back from a day out on the water. This is a saltwater canal, so you're supposed to flush your engine for 7 minutes, 8 minutes, something like that. My neighbor over here has got a really sweet boat with 3 engines, and one day he was showing me his reverso auto flush system, where he hooks a hose in and there's like a switch box that flushes each engine individually for like a 7.5 minute cycle. And I was like, dang, that's cool. Well, I looked it up. It's $1,000 plus, maybe 1,200. Even for a single engine, it's probably 1,000. So I'm like, well, what can I do here with a few parts and pieces and have, let's say, a $100 solution? Okay, obviously I don't need switches because I just have one engine. So here's what I did. I added a washdown port, and I'll show you the parts that I purchased and hooked together. Obviously drilled through the hole here, or the hull, and I ran a black washing machine hose. You can see it going into the OEM water supply for flushing. I used a washing machine hose because it's meant for water and it's black. Doesn't look too bad. Haven't quite tried it out on the water, but obviously you want to make sure nothing kinks or pinches and whatnot. But I think this is going to work. But here's the beauty. Okay, so you take your connection point, and this is by the way, the Jabsco washdown quick connect, and here it is. It's basically we'll call it a dongle. This is the male end, and the female port is right here. You stick it in, give it about a half turn. Okay, turn the water on, and within a short few seconds here, we're flushing. Now the trick is, do you have enough water pressure to get water out the little P-tube? Give it a little bit, there it goes. But yeah, so let it run for 7 minutes when you get back. For a day out on the water, I don't have to hang over the back of the boat. This thing doesn't even leak. Perfect. And you're done. Simply turn off the water and release. Now what's interesting is in here there is a check valve, so I don't know if there's water pressure that comes out of that tube when you're running. I would assume that there is, but there is a check valve in here, so water's not going to come out. I guess if you were super cautious, right, you could put another manual valve in the hose, but then that would be another thing that you'd have to maneuver, right, if you're flushing, or maybe you could just put it underneath like in a battery box or something like that. But anyways, there is a check valve in here, so you don't have to worry about losing water pressure when you're running. And I mean, just like that, so I'm going to show you some of the things that I had to purchase to make this work. Obviously, with any project comes 3 trips to the hardware store, but here's what you need. You're going to need a 1.5 inch hole saw to drill through the hull. You'll need some silicone. You'll need to buy some stainless steel screws. You'll need to buy the Jabsco washdown quick connect. bought this online somewhere. What I did find interesting though is that this particular model has a valve not only on the input side, a check valve, but it also has one on the output side. So I did have to take the valve out on the input side because it wasn't passing any water through. So I just simply took a drill bit and drilled out the check valve in there, because obviously I want water to go into the boat, however not out of the boat. So there is a check valve still in there, which works good. And yeah, some parts and pieces that you need, you know, to hook into the Yamaha motor. This is a 5/16 inch splicer. This is a barb connection. You put this at the end of the female part that goes in your hull. You'll need a 3/8 inch barb connection. This is a 1/2 inch, but just to show you what I used, this with some sealant that's inside the boat, and then the washing machine hooks onto there. The other part of the washing machine hose goes onto this barb, and then the other end of the barb goes directly into the Yamaha. Here's the washing machine hose that I used. And then, you know, like I said, drill bit. I had to drill out the inside of this thing through, obviously, where the valve was, just to knock the valve out of there. Some parts that came out, but, you know, there's probably maybe other part numbers out there that maybe don't have that valve in it, but, you know, this is what I ended up with, so I didn't want to return it, so whatever, I just drilled it out. And it's done. I mean, it's gonna make flushing so much easier. I've been thinking about this for months. How do I solve this problem? And you know, just literally switch from spraying down the boat or flushing the boat, whatever. Hook this in. Turn on the water. And there comes the water. All right, hope you enjoyed this. You know, I might have missed a few parts and pieces, but I mean, really, you know, once you get the valve and think about the other things that you need, think through it a little bit. It's not that complicated, but I mean, it works, and it's gonna save me so much time coming back, you know, when I gotta wash everything down. So, all right, especially if you're on a boat lift, it's hard to, obviously I got the boat in backwards here, but you know, when your boat's hanging over the water, it's kind of dangerous and hard to get the hose hooked up. So this is a quick and easy solution. Hope you liked it. Thank you, and hit that like button.